What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel into another Overwatch League news video, and today the Overwatch League has revealed some details finally about the end of season playoffs. Now obviously things have not gone the way any of us wanted it to this year. This includes the league, but after taking some time to really think things through, they seem to have found a system that they think will work. So let's not waste any time here and let's dive right into all of the juicy details. So let's start off with the format, which is obviously a really important part in all of this, because unlike last year and the year before, we will be doing this by regions. Like the Summer Showdown and the May Melee, we're going to have 13 teams play in the North American region and 7 in the Asian region. And like you'd probably suspect, every single team is going to be seeded based off of their regular season record compared to everybody else in the respective regions, and there will be a series of tiebreakers applied if necessary. So that's big takeaway number one to really think about when it comes to this formatting. The fact that we still have regional play, plus the fact though that every single team technically does have a chance to make their way to the grand finals. But of course, there's more to it than that. It's not that basic. So moving onwards, while all teams do technically have a chance to qualify for the playoffs and even make the grand finals for that matter, the higher seeds in both regions will enjoy significant advantages, including things like bye weeks and choice of opponent for the first rounds of the bracket and selection of the first map throughout. So in that regard, it's very similar to the format we had with the regular season tournament. But guess what? There's even more similarities between the playoff format and the one we saw in the regular season tournament. So, the playoffs are going to open up with single elimination play in matches among the lowest seeded teams, like we've been seeing in the regular season tournaments, to earn their spots in a double elimination playoff bracket. Then, after 2 weeks of the playoffs, we'll be down to the final 4 teams. There's going to be 2 from North America and 2 from Asia. After some double elimination bracket action between the final 4 teams, 2 teams will be left remaining in the grand finals to compete for the Overwatch League Championship. And in order to have all 4 teams play on an even playing field and on the same server and everything, both of the North American teams will travel over to Asia. Overwatch League Season 3 playoff action is set to begin on September 3rd, so get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen. The playoffs are right around the corner. Oh, and if you're somebody who is curious about the prize pool, let me quickly put that up for you. So the winners of this entire thing will get $1.5 million, with $4 million in total at stake here in the playoffs. So the runner-ups get $750K, third place gets $450, fourth gets $350, and so on and so forth. So what are you guys thinking of this entire playoff format plus all of the details we've got? It's pretty interesting, right? I personally think it's pretty cool that they're taking certain things from the regular season tournaments and adding it into this, but also adding in their own twist that we didn't see during the regular season tournaments. Teams getting higher seeds and getting bye weeks and stuff and being able to pick their opponents is always a very interesting process, so that's kind of fun to see, I guess. Plus, we're actually getting a ton of action because we get 2 different tournaments that are double elimination style. That's pretty awesome. There's a lot of games to be looking forward to, and in a way, they still do have the play-in tournament in a sense. It's only 2 separate matches, one for APAC and one for North America, but we still do technically get that high-stakes single elimination match to see who ends up qualifying for the playoffs. I have to admit, I'm also a big fan of the fact that we get Final Four action as well as the Grand Finals over in Asia instead of North America for a change. This is probably just wishful thinking, I'm assuming, but it would be great if they played over in South Korea. I think that would be sick because South Korea is the heart and soul of Overwatch. That is the best Overwatch country in the world. Regardless of where they play and how they play, I am just happy that they are changing things up. While there are good things that I really do like about this tournament style, there are things that I am not a fan of as well. So one thing I'm not a huge fan of is the fact that everybody gets a chance to potentially make it to the grand finals. I understand that it creates interesting storylines and it gives everybody's fan bases a chance to be excited about something at least for a little bit, but like, it's kind of unfair. Sure, a low-seeded, unexpected team could suddenly go on a hot streak and just really dominate the competition and go way farther than anybody thought they would, but I just don't think that's the right way to do it since it's unfair to all of the teams that really deserve to be in the playoffs. Like, what's the excitement now for some of the teams who were supposedly in the hunt for making the top 12 or whatnot? Does it even really feel like you've earned anything if you're like a mid-table seed? Sure, you may be able to like pick your opponent in a certain round, but that's all you get. There's a certain excitement factor that presents itself with a playoff race, and the Overwatch League kind of just threw that out the window. Whether it's esports or normal sports, I really do feel like a playoff race makes things a lot more exciting, and then at the end of the day, Team A beats Team B out for the final playoff spot. It's really fun to watch. We don't know what's going to happen. It goes down to the wire, that just is gone now, you know? You guys remember the end of last year, don't you? The Valiant and the Hunters were really racing for that final playoff spot. Came down to the final week. If the Valiant were able to beat the Gladiators or the Shock, they would make it to the playoffs, but if they lost both games, then the Hunters would make it. That's some exciting stuff, and now we don't really get to witness that. Besides that, though, the only other thing that bothers me a little bit, it's not the biggest deal in the world, is the fact that only the grand finals is first to 4 maps. Like, what's up with that? Sure, we saw some interesting things happen with this type of format in Season 1, but last year was so awesome. Like, seeing the Shock and the Reign go to 7 maps, or the NYXL and the Vancouver Titans go to 7 maps, that was some awesome stuff to bear witness to. Sure, we could see some exciting matches go the distance to like 5 or 6 maps or whatnot, but having that magic number 7 just feels better to me. And now the only chance we'd ever get of that would be in the grand finals. And knowing the history of this league, I would not get my hopes up about seeing a 7-map series then. But I do understand it, and this is a trade-off we kind of have to take at the end of the day. This is just me nitpicking. I'm a little upset about it, but I do understand it because we'd have some really, really long broadcast if we had a first to 4 with 2 double elimination brackets in place. You got to think about the trade-off, right? Do you want more matches or do you want longer matches? You can't have both, unfortunately. It's completely understandable, and like I was saying, at the end of the day, I'm just nitpicking a little. Am I a little sad? Sure, but it's not something that's going to bother me moving forward, and it won't hinder my ability to enjoy the playoffs. With that final thought in mind, that is going to wrap up my thoughts and my little recap on the Overwatch League 2020 playoff format. If you guys want to read up on all of the info for yourself, I will leave a link in the description to the Overwatch League website where I got all of this information from. So now I want to hear from you guys. What do you think of the Overwatch League 2020 playoff format plus all of the details we got? Let me know down in the comment section. And if you enjoyed the content, it would mean a lot to me if you could hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you're new so you can keep up to date with all things Overwatch League. And as always, thanks so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate your support. And until next time, this is ATP signing out. Peace.